Welcome back to one of the Bears Travel Plays YouTube channel. Today is Monday, November 4th, and we're going to be breaking down a couple more plays for the NBA slate on Monday night. We're going to be looking at the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Phoenix Suns, and then a match between the Knicks and the Rockets. 4 total plays, 2 game picks, 2 player props. Before we do that, let's take a look at the recap on Sunday. I did not watch the Nets and Pistons games because it was right in the middle of the NFL games, but I did have a chance to take on the Mavericks game just for a little bit. We had a 1 and 2 day. Both player props didn't hit. Cade Cunningham and Cam Thomas, even though Cade got pretty close. Cam Thomas had a horrible shooting day. So neither player prop hit, but the Mavericks, they're currently up by 31 points late in the third quarter. So I went ahead and gave ourselves the win because the Magic, they can't score. So 1 and 2 day. Again, just feel like we're pushing everything. We're 21 and 21 on the year. We got to find a way to get a 3 and 1 day, 4 and 0 day. I think we can do it right here. This is the day. Monday night basketball, college basketball starting as well. Let's get into a groove here. Let's win a couple in a row. Let's win 4 in a row, 5 in a row, 6 in a row. Looking at the 76ers going up against the Suns. The 76ers still without Joel Embiid. Paul George still out. I saw a report that Joel Embiid got into a verbal fight again with some press people. They probably just should leave him alone. You can ask the same question over and over and over. When you come back, you can get the same answer every single time. So just leave him alone. He's getting paid millions of dollars to sit on the bench. Whenever he wants to play, he's going to be out there on the floor. And if the organization is not going to do anything about it, then good for him. He's making millions and millions of dollars sitting on the bench every game, hurting his team. We should all be so lucky. But for this game, the 76ers are an absolute dead dog. This start of the season has been horrible for them, potentially jeopardized their playoff chances, either not making the playoffs or getting a pretty bad seed in the Eastern Conference, depending on when Embiid and Paul George come back. Depending on how many more games this goes, we could see over 10% of the year in a week is going to be gone. And that's 10% that might matter towards the end of the season, towards the playoffs. This team has only managed to win 1 game. It was the overtime win against the Pacers. Other than that, they have 4 losses, scoring less than 107 points in 3 of those 4 games. And in the 1 game they did score over 107 was against the Bucks. They scored 109 points. It's incredibly simple. Until everybody comes back for the 76ers, it's the team that you can bet against every single game, and you can feel pretty confident about it. They even had Eric Gordon come off the bench. He had 8 points immediately in the first quarter going up against the Grizzlies, up 10-plus points. They still found a way to lose that game by 15. There is no firepower with this team. Tyrese Maxey has been the only guy who's been consistently scoring points, so you can't trust the 76ers. You can trust the Suns, though. This is a very low spread for a team who's coming in with 4 consecutive wins, beating some pretty good teams in the process. Lakers, Mavericks, Clippers. They have been playing some really good defense to start the year as well, giving up less than 105 points in 3 of the last 4 games that they've been in. Their offense has been consistent. Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, 3 guys who can score at will. So give me the Suns here. Feels like a no-brainer. Minus 4.5 is the play. Let's go on to the second play of the day, and we're going to be looking at the Knicks going up against the Rockets. I really never like taking unders. I think it's no way to live life. I'm usually all over the overs, but I do think this one has a lot of potential to hit the under, especially with the way that the Rockets have been playing defense this season. The Knicks have also been playing some pretty good defense this year. They start off incredibly slow against the Celtics. Everybody knows that, score 130-plus points. But other than the Cavaliers game where they gave up 110 points, everything else has been under 100 points for the most part. For the Rockets, it's basically the same as the Knicks. They allowed under 110 points in every single game this season besides one. That was the last game they played in against the Warriors, but that game did go to overtime. Both of these teams have been good defensively this season. They were good defensively last season. And when taking a look at the history of these 2 teams last year, they met up twice. Both of the games went under the total by a pretty wide margin. They only scored 208 points in one game, 204 points in the other game. And with the Rockets having a very similar roster, the Knicks did mix it up a little bit in the offseason, but I do think they're a little bit worse than last season so far. I'm going to take a shot on the under. I think it's a little bit too high. Give me the under 219 as the play. Let's go over to the player props, and we are going to start with the Magic going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not going to sugarcoat things here if we have any Orlando Magic fans out there, but this team is absolutely horrible right now. One player has made the difference. You might not think one player can make that big of a difference, but Paolo not out there. Just over the last 2 games, the Magic haven't been able to score 100 points in back-to-back games. They're currently getting ran out of the gym against the Mavericks, losing by 30 points. They only have 60 points so far late in the third quarter in that game. So this team, they can't score any points. And they only have a couple players on this team who have the capability of scoring 15-plus points. I said that the last breakdown. This is one of those guys. The Magic have to find somehow, some way to get some points on the board. Jalen Suggs can be that guy. He did have a pretty good game against the Cavaliers 2 games ago. He had 28 points. He shot the ball 20 times. That's what I'm looking for in this one. They need someone to take a step up and take the shot attempts that Paulo was taking. It looks like it's going to be Jalen Suggs. So I'm going to take the over 16.5 points. The Thunder this season have been incredible defensively, but again, it's NBA players shooting the ball. So I'm assuming they're still going to make 40 to 45% of their shots regardless of the defense. Jalen Suggs going up against the Mavericks, his current stat line, 10 points, 13 shots. I don't think he's going to go back in the game. Like I said, it's late in the third quarter. They're down by 30 points, so I don't think he's going to find a way to get back on the floor. But if he did find a way to get back on the floor, he's on pace for about 20 shots in this one, having 6 shots in the fourth quarter. So I think this is the guy to take 20-plus shots a game for them. I'm going to go over 16.5 points as the first play. And for the final play tonight, we're going to be looking at the Grizzlies going up against the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to take Ja Morant over 23.5 points as the play. Not entirely sure if this one's going to be a little bit higher or a little bit lower, but for right now, we're going to go on the averages of 23.5. The Nets coming off of a game against the Pistons in which they lost. That should have been a win for them. Pistons not that good this season. Cam Thomas, horrible shooting night, their best player for the Nets. But that defense, it wasn't great. The Pistons still shot nearly 50% from the field, making 11 threes in that game. They just played extremely slow offense, which is kind of weird because they usually play a little bit faster. But the Nets have been allowing a lot of points from the charity stripe. They gave up 21 free points in this game to the Pistons. Again, this is one of the most physical point guards in the NBA. He's going to be able to get himself to the rim a lot in this game going up against this Brooklyn Nets team. It's going to be even better for this player prop if Nick Claxton finds himself in foul trouble, because once that big guy's off the floor, that's just going to open up the rim even more to Ja Morant, who is a punisher at finishing. He has had a few good games this season shooting, not a whole lot, but I do think this is a game that we can really see him get aggressive, getting himself to the rim with the Nets giving up nearly 50 points per game in the paint. That's one of the worst teams in the NBA. I would love to see him be aggressive in this game and take a few more shot attempts. The Grizzlies, they have been scoring a ton of points as well this year, but Morant hasn't had to be on the floor in a couple of these fourth quarter games. So I hope the Nets keep this game a competitive one. If that happens, Morant, he shows up in this game. He gets himself to the rim. He gets himself to the free throw line. He's going to go over the 23.5 points as the final play of the day. Let's go take a look at the recap graphic. We're going to be taking the Suns minus 4.5 going up against the 76ers, the under 219.5 between the Knicks and the Rockets. We're going to go with Ja Morant over 23.5 points against the Brooklyn Nets, and then Jalen Suggs over 16.5 points going up against the Thunder. Guys, it's going to do it for the NBA Plays and Props for Monday, November 4th slate of games. If you guys enjoy the content, please be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.